The Italian army is standing at a decisive crossroads in its modern history. For decades, its armored core has relied on the C1 Ariete main battle tank, a design conceived in the late Cold War and fielded in the 1990s. At the time, the Ariete represented a significant step for Italy's indigenous defense industry, but today it is a relic of another era. Its armor protection, firepower, and mobility fall far behind the modern standards demonstrated in Ukraine, where legacy Soviet and even some NATO tanks have proven highly vulnerable to drones, precision artillery, and advanced anti-tank guided missiles. Italy, long criticized as a Mediterranean power with limited armored capability, has now committed itself to a generational leap. That leap is embodied in the decision to adopt the KF51 Panther, a German-designed next-generation tank, to be co-produced in Italy through a landmark Leonardo Rheinmetall partnership. Before we explore the deeper meaning of this decision, let me pause briefly. If you find these kinds of in-depth military analyses useful, don't forget to support the channel by subscribing, leaving a comment, and sharing this video. Your engagement allows us to continue producing thoughtful, serious content on defense and security issues that rarely receive the attention they deserve. The need to replace Ariete has been obvious for years. Only about 200 vehicles remain operational, and even those are limited by outdated armor composites, a shorter 120mm gun, and a diesel engine that cannot sustain the high-speed maneuver warfare expected on NATO's Eastern Front. The war in Ukraine has accelerated this reckoning. Western-supplied Leopard 1s, T-72 variants, and even upgraded T-80s have suffered severe losses against drones and modern anti-tank weapons. Italy cannot afford to field obsolete heavy armor if it wants to remain credible within NATO's collective defense framework. With Germany fielding Leopard 2A8s, France upgrading its Leclerc to the XLR standard, and Poland surging ahead with K2 Black Panther tanks, Rome faced a stark choice: accept irrelevance on land or leap into the future. The KF51 Panther is designed precisely for that leap. Equipped with Rheinmetall's 130mm smoothbore gun, it offers 50% more kinetic energy than the NATO standard 120mm. An autoloader reduces crew size and increases rate of fire. Its modular armor system, paired with an active protection suite capable of intercepting incoming projectiles, represents a vast improvement over Ariete's static, passive armor. The Panther integrates 360-degree sensors, digitalized battle management systems, and is engineered to network seamlessly with unmanned aerial and ground systems. In short, it is not simply an incremental improvement, but a new philosophy of armored warfare. What makes the Italian variant especially noteworthy is the decision to Italianize the Panther. Leonardo will produce 82 of the 132 initial tanks with a domestically manufactured 120mm L55 gun. 50 more will use Rheinmetall's L55A1, but Rome has clearly signaled it does not wish to remain merely a client. This balance between cooperation and independence reflects a broader Italian strategy: leverage German technology, but retain national sovereignty over critical components. It is a pragmatic form of autonomy within Europe's fragmented defense market. Strategically, the implications are profound. Italy is not just buying 380 Panthers. It is also set to acquire over 1,000 Lynx KF51 infantry fighting vehicles. Together, these platforms will allow Rome to field fully mechanized heavy brigades capable of fighting alongside US, German, and French forces in Europe's east, while still maintaining its traditional Mediterranean responsibilities. For decades, Italy's land forces were dismissed as second tier, oriented toward peacekeeping or stability operations rather than high-intensity conflict. By 2035, that perception will be obsolete. The NATO dimension is equally crucial. By contributing modern heavy armor, Italy strengthens the credibility of the alliance's deterrence posture. Baltic states and Eastern members have long complained that NATO's southern flank was under-resourced, with Italy too focused on naval and air assets. The Panther program directly addresses that gap. Italy will be able to deploy heavy forces to reinforce NATO's northeastern flank, demonstrating solidarity against Russia while increasing its own strategic relevance. But perhaps the most important aspect is industrial. The creation of Leonardo Rheinmetall military vehicles, a 50-50 joint venture, ensures that about 60% of production will take place in Italy, particularly in La Spezia. This is not simply a purchase, it is an investment in Italy's defense industrial base. Over the next 15 years, the program is valued at well over 10 billion euros. It will generate jobs, expertise, and, critically, export opportunities. Italy could emerge as a production hub for KF51 tanks, destined not only for its own army, but potentially for Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, or even Balkan customers. Yet challenges remain. The Panther is still a paper tank in many respects. It has not yet entered operational service anywhere. Italy will be the first adopter, and that entails risks, technological delays, cost overruns, and potential incompatibilities with NATO standards. The financial burden is heavy as well. 8 to 10 billion euros over 15 years is manageable, but in an economy still facing debt and social spending pressures, defense modernization is always politically sensitive. Finally, questions linger about balance. Should Italy focus so heavily on heavy armor when drones, long-range fires, and integrated air defense are proving decisive in modern warfare? Even within Europe, competition will be fierce. Germany is pushing the Leopard 2A8, France is committed to the Leclerc XLR and the future MGCS project, and Poland is buying both K2s and Abrams. In this crowded environment, Italy must prove that Panther AT is not only technologically viable, but strategically indispensable. If Rome succeeds, it will elevate its land forces into the top tier of European armies, finally breaking free of the Mediterranean-only label. If it fails, billions may be wasted on an unproven system. In conclusion, the KF51 Panther program represents far more than a simple tank purchase. It is Italy's declaration that the era of the Ariete is over, and a new age of heavy armor is beginning. By partnering with Rheinmetall while insisting on domestic production, Rome has struck a delicate balance between cooperation and sovereignty. By investing in hundreds of tanks and over 1,000 infantry fighting vehicles, it has signaled that the Italian army will no longer play a secondary role in NATO's land operations. This is a generational bet on technology, on industry, and on Italy's place in Europe's strategic hierarchy. And here, once again, let me end with a reminder. Analyses like these take time and effort to research and present clearly. If you value this work, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing, enabling notifications, and joining the discussion in the comments. Your engagement not only strengthens our community, but ensures we can continue to provide serious, timely, and thoughtful coverage of the defense issues shaping our world.